Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Deveri, and in this segment we are going to discuss objective questions to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements regarding Estimates Committee. It has 30 members and all these members are from Lok Sabha. The chairman is appointed by the speaker and the chairman is always from the ruling party or coalition. The works of this committee continue throughout the year and it keeps reporting to the House as examination proceeds. So what do we have to do? We have to select the correct statement. If we talk about the Estimates Committee, the first statement is correct that it has 30 members and all of these members are from the Lok Sabha. This is correct. And the chairman is appointed by the speaker and the chairman is always from the ruling party or coalition. This is also correct. And the third statement is also correct because it works continuously. The work of this committee is on a continuous basis and it keeps on reporting with continuity whatever it finds in the proceedings. So all these statements are correct. The correct answer to this question would be option D. Many of you have answered it correctly in the comment segment. Okay, let's move on and look at the explanation. The Estimates Committee was first established during the British era in the 1920s, but independent India's first estimate committee was established in the year 1950. It has 30 members and all these members are from the Lok Sabha. We have already discussed the chairman and he or she is appointed by the speaker and the chairman is always from the ruling party or the coalition. Also, we have discussed the next statement. It is also known as Continuous Economy Committee. Moving ahead, consider the following statements regarding Project Concern International. It is an intergovernmental organization which works on food security, gender equity and water and sanitation. We have to select the correct statement. Project Concern International is not an intergovernmental organization but a non-governmental organization. So the first statement is incorrect. The second statement is correct that it works on food security, gender equity, water and sanitation. Second statement being correct, the first being incorrect. The correct answer would be option B. Recently, the Maharashtra Health Services has organized the drive for immunization against filariasis in coordination with Global Health Strategies, World Health Organization and Project Concern International. PCI is a non-profit humanitarian non-government organization based in San Diego, California, USA. Also, PCI's programs, they address a broad range of topics such as food security, gender equity, water and sanitation, economic development, climate change, agriculture, education, health and emergency response. Consider the following statements regarding National Research Center on Yak. It works under the Indian Council of Medical Research and it is located in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. We have to select the correct statement. So, if we talk about the National Research Center on Yak, yes, the first statement is incorrect. That it works under the Indian Council of Medical Research. No, but it works under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. And the second statement is also incorrect because its headquarters is not located in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. Neither of them being correct. The correct answer would be option D. Let's find out. Recently, the National Research Center on Yak has announced that the high altitude yak, feeling the climate change heat across the Himalayan belt, will now be ensured. The center is a premier research organization exclusively engaged in research and development of yak and it works under the aegis of ICAR. Its headquarters is in West Kameng district of Arunachal Pradesh, which was founded in the year 1989. Consider the following statements regarding GISAID. It provides access to genomic data of influenza viruses to selected countries and the first whole genome sequence of SARS-CoV-2 was made available on their database. What is the correct, which ones are the correct statements? So if we talk about GISAID, it provides access to genomic data of influenza virus is correct to all the countries and not selected countries. So the first statement is incorrect. But the second statement is correct, that the first whole genome sequence of SARS-CoV-2. Genome sequencing is actually sequencing or finding out in which manner the DNA strand of a virus is sequenced in order to know about its basic behavior, nature, what symptoms can it cause. So, the whole genome sequencing of SARS-CoV-2 was made on this database, on the database of influenza. So, the correct answer to this question would be option B, 2 only. The popular genomic data sharing site GISAID has received over 2 million submissions of SARS-CoV-2 genomic sequencing from 172 countries. This is a global science initiative and primary source established in 2008 that provides open access to genomic data of influenza virus to all the countries. Also, the first whole genome sequence of SARS-CoV-2 was made available on GISAID, which enabled global response to the pandemic, development of the first vaccines, and diagnostic tests to detect SARS-CoV-2. Consider the following statements regarding Soberna 2 vaccine. It has been developed in France and it is based on conjugate vaccine technology. We have to select the correct statement. Soberna 2 vaccine has not been developed in France but in Cuba. So the first statement is incorrect. The second statement is correct, that it is based on conjugate vaccine technology. The second being correct, the first being incorrect. The correct answer would be option B, 2 only. Recently, the world's first conjugate vaccine for COVID-19 has been developed. It is named Soberna 2 vaccine. Cuba's state-run corporation, Biopharma, has indigenously produced this Soberna 2 vaccine and it proved 91.2% efficiency in phase 3 trials. In this vaccine, the spike protein of coronavirus is chemically linked to the tetanus toxoid that makes it a conjugate vaccine. Moving on, Enceladus, recently seen in the news, refers to which of the following? Enceladus is actually a satellite of the planet Saturn. So the correct answer to this question would be option C, that is a planet's satellite. So why is it in the news? Because a study was recently published which analyzed the data collected by the Cassini spacecraft from giant water plumes erupting from Enceladus. Enceladus is one of the Saturn's satellites, and the study has concluded that there is a possibility of evidence of microbial life on the satellites. Consider the following statements regarding Speaker of the LS, Lok Sabha. Except for the no confidence motion, all other motions which come before the House come only after the Speaker permits them. No alteration or addition can be made in the Parliament House and no new structure can be erected in the Parliament Estate without the Speaker's permission. So we have to select the correct statement. If we talk about the first statement, that except for the no confidence motion, all other motions which come before the House comes only after the Speaker permits them, is definitely correct. And the second statement is also correct, that no alteration or addition can be made in the Parliament House and no new structures can be erected in the Parliament Estate without the Speaker's permission. So the correct answer to this question would be option C. The Lok Sabha, which is the highest legislative body in the country, chooses its Speaker who presides over the day-to-day functioning of the House, and we have already discussed this statement, so we shall move forward. The Speaker is the head of the Lok Sabha Secretariat, and the Speaker's authority over the Secretariat, staff of the House and its security arrangements is supreme, and this statement has also been discussed. The Lemru Elephant Reserve, recently seen in the news, is related to which of the following states or union territories? So, the Lemru Elephant Reserve is located in the state of Chhattisgarh. The correct answer would be option D, right? So, the proposed Lemru Elephant Reserve in Chhattisgarh is in the pipeline for 20 years. It has become the subject of yet another controversy. Lemru is one of the 2 elephant reserves planned to prevent human-animal conflict in the region, with elephants moving into Chhattisgarh from Odisha and Jharkhand. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding Permanent Court of Arbitration. It is an intergovernmental organization dedicated to serve the international community in the field of dispute resolution and to facilitate arbitration and other forms of dispute resolution between the states. All decisions called awards are not binding on the parties in the dispute. We have to select the correct statement. If we talk about Permanent Court of Arbitration, yes, it is an intergovernmental organization which is dedicated to serve the international community in the field of dispute resolution, that means dispute between two different countries, and to facilitate arbitration and other forms of dispute resolution between states. The first statement is correct, and all these decisions or awards are binding on the parties and not binding. So only the first statement being correct. The correct answer to this question would be option A1 only. The Permanent Court of Arbitration was established in 1899 and it is headquartered in The Hague, Netherlands. We have already discussed the next statement, so we shall move forward to the next one. And yes, all decisions called awards are binding on all the parties in the dispute and have to be carried out without any delay. Moving on, this is a country in the Caribbean Sea that includes the western third of the islands of Hispaniola and such smaller islands as Gunawitort, Grand Cay and Vache. The capital is Port-au-Prince. Its population is almost entirely descended from African slaves, won independence from France in the year 1804, making it the second country in the Americas after the US to free itself from the colonial rule. So we have to identify the country. The country is of the country of Haiti. Moving on, recently Haiti's president Jovenel Moïse was assassinated at his private residence in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It is the Western Hemisphere's poorest country, has a painful history of foreign interventions, economic exploitation and dictatorial rule. India established diplomatic relations with Haiti in September 1996 and Haiti appointed an honorary consul in New Delhi in October 2014. And as you can see, where lies Haiti? Haiti lies near Cuba and Jamaica. This is the Dominican Republic. Puerto Rico lies here of the US and Port-au-Prince the capital. Moving on, consider the following statements regarding lymphatic filariasis. It is the second most disabling disease after mental health. It is a vector-borne disease. Yes, if you have to select the correct statement, both these statements are correct. The correct answer would be option C. Lymphatic filariasis, commonly known as elephantiasis, and is considered as a neglected tropical disease. It is the second most disabling disease after mental health. It impairs the lymphatic system and can lead to the abnormal enlargement of body parts, causing pain, severe disability and social stigma. Lymphatic filariasis is a vector-borne disease caused by infection with parasites classified as nematodes from the roundworm of the family and filariae. There are three types of threads like filarial worms which cause lymphatic filariasis, which is Wuchereria bancrofti. It is responsible for the 90% of the cases of elephantiasis. Brugia malayi caused most of the remainder of the cases, and Brugia timori also causes the disease. Let's look at the practice question. Seed balls or seed bombs recently seen in the news is related to which of the following? Enriching food stock for wild elephants to prevent man-elephant conflict, genetically modified cotton balls, seeds that satisfy both minimum field and seed standards, and 100% genetically pure seed with physical purity produced from basic nucleus seed stock. So I hope you'll be able to answer it correctly in the comment segment. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.